Next, he's your teenage dream, and he also just became a series regular, Darren Criss. Next, we have a certain dancer with a gift of ab. You know him as Mike Chang, also a newly minted series regular, Shum Jr. Next, please no hiding under your seat. She's really very nice. Please welcome to the stage the woman behind Coach Beast, Marie Jones. Next up, she's McKinley High's resident goth, the Glee Club's quiet riot Tina, Jenna Ushkowitz. Next up, we have Glee choreographer / Glee project star, Woodlee. Next, we have exec producer, Dante DiLoreto.
Yeah!
Next, let's introduce co-creator and exec producer, Brennan. And finally, please have a warm welcome for the co-creator and exec producer, Falchuk. So first I want to ask Kevin a question about the 3D movie. How much of a glimpse behind the scenes are we going to get? Is that sort of a warts and all look at what happened behind the scenes?
Yeah, you know, you're going to get a chance to see kind of the interactions of characters behind the scenes, and also just fans in general and how it's affected their lives, and how the show has, you know, given them confidence and given them a chance to express themselves, and how the show's brought that out of them. So you'll get to see a glimpse between the characters in the show and also the characters within the universe, which is Glee, which is all over the world. So.
And real quick for the cast, what was it like just now watching yourself on this Jumbotron?
Kind of awesome.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
You look a lot younger on there. You were like a little kid, right?
I know, I was... My time was too big for me.
Wow, I didn't remember that part.
Well, I want to jump into some big headlines that have been going around about Glee. I'm all about news, so I want to ask Brad, there's been obviously mass hysteria in the Glee community over some comments that Ryan Murphy made about Leah, Criss, and Corey not only graduating at the end of this upcoming season, but leaving for good. Do you care to set the record straight about what the deal is with that?
Yeah, I don't know where that reporter got that information from. I know Ryan spoke to her, but that's not what he said, because here's the exact thing that's going on. Corey, Leah, Criss, they're seniors, and so they're graduating. But because they're graduating doesn't mean they're leaving the show, you know. I mean, you know, I always say that there's this reality of, like, if you have Leah and Michelle under contract, you don't just say, you know what, we're gonna let you go. It just wouldn't be kind of the smart thing to do, and so no. There are a number of Glee kids that are in the New Directions that are seniors, and some are juniors. And so if you come to the first episode, you see who's a senior, who's a junior, who's graduating, who's not graduating, but a number of the original people are not graduating this year.
Okay, and even if they do graduate, that doesn't necessarily mean they're gone.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, no, it's not. It was never our plan. It was never our intention to do that, to let them go. And so I think there was some confusion in the way that the reporter took what Ryan said, but I can guarantee here, you can quote me on this, that they are not done with the show after this season.
And just so we can clear up some confusion, misunderstanding, can you say who is a senior and who is not?
No, I can't say that.
Yeah.
Can you say whether Darren Blaine is a senior?
I have no idea.
I can say Jen is a junior.
I am? I'm a junior?
Am I junior high? Am I still in junior high?
That's the first she's heard of that. Well, I'm not telling, because she's here, I'll say that, I'm not saying anybody else. But, you know, the idea is the first episode you come back and the whole thing, she wanted me to tell her last night, and I wouldn't, she didn't get enough drinks for me to tell her last night. is the you get this whole opening sequence of everybody says what they want to do when they grow up, and so we sort of see who's a junior, who's a senior, and what people's plans are, and the sort of the anxiety behind that.
Okay, you know, one thing I was reading about some of the stuff coming up, the first 13 episodes are going to be character-driven, you know, not so much about stunt casting and special episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the case?
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, you know, we really took a very specific amount of time this year to really draw out some longer character arcs for the first 13 episodes, and we sort of split it into two kind of mini seasons. There's the first semester and the second semester, so it sort of drives into sectionals at the end of the first 9, and then the back, whatever, 12 or 13 that is another sort of semester with different strong stories. But there's also the larger stories that take us through the whole season. So, yeah, I mean, Shelby's coming back. Obviously, everybody heard about that for the first in episode 2, but we don't consider that stunt casting, because to us, it's like she's a major character in the show. She happens to be a huge star and a Tony winner and all that, but to us, she's more of a member of the family, so we didn't consider it stunt casting.
And there will be a tribute episode this season, right?
We talked about it. If it happens, it's going to happen in the second half of the season.
Can you say who?
No.
No.
It's we really do want to spend some real time with the characters in those first 9-10 episodes, so we're gonna focus on that.
Okay, and the other big headline out there, we reported that Cord Overstreet's option to become a regular was not exercised, but that didn't necessarily mean he wasn't returning. I understand he was invited back. Is there any news on whether we will see him this season?
Yeah, you know, with Cord, there was, you know, I look at someone like Harry as a perfect example. Harry has worked on the show for 2 years, and we made him a series regular this year because he really earned it, and it really happened. And Darren as well came in, and he really sort of killed it. I'm very proud of those guys, and those guys are really deserve what they got, and so there's no guarantee. You have, the way the contract works is we decided we're going to pick her option to become a regular, and for reasons that, you know, Cord is aware of, we decided not to make him a regular, and at the same time we did invite him to come back and say please come back for a portion of the season, and as see how that portion of the season plays out, we will then maybe make a series regular in the second half of the season, and he declined the offer, which we were very disappointed by, because we were writing stories for him, and we had a lot of great ideas, and we really liked writing Sam, which is, we wanted to have him back because we like Cord personally. He's a really swell guy, and also because the character was somebody we were excited about, and we had some cool ideas with him and Mercedes, and but Cord decided that he would have opportunities elsewhere that he would prefer to pursue, and so we can't make him work. So he said no, and so we tell him to go with God, and I will say though, I do want to say that just because he's gone, we do have some, Mercedes will have in episode 1 that she has this new boyfriend she met over the summer who's pretty great.
Can you say anything more about the boyfriend?
You know, we describe the relationship as sort of like that relationship between Cuba Gooding Jr. and his wife and Jerry Maguire. Like she's just, he is like, you deserve more, Mercedes. You got to go for Mercedes. You're the best, Mercedes. Like really lifting her up, and he's sort of this big Bubba kind of guy, and he just, you know, encourages her to want more for herself, and that really drives her big arc for the first half of the season, which is sort of unexpected for her. It's really nice.
All right. Well, speaking of comings and goings, are we going to see Coach Beast back this season, and how much? Because Dot has another. She's in demand and has another comedy that that has come calling. Chelsea Chelsea Handler comedy on NBC. So will we see her?
You know, I was very embarrassed yesterday because I saw Dot, and I love Dot, and she was crying and so awesome, and she didn't know she was coming back, and I was like, what do you mean you don't know if you're coming back? Of course you're coming back. It's like, well, nobody told me. It's like, well, of course she's coming back. It's like, you don't get nominated for an Emmy, and then we're like, let's say she's fine.